Hello, it is I, Darth Eats Donuts. As I'm sure everyone has seen and heard, Destiny 2 has received communication from Bungie where it is going to receive its last update on June 9th. Now, this was heartbreaking, honestly. Man, like, I've been playing this game since 2017. Played the open beta, got convinced to pre-order after that. Yeah, it's I still don't know how to describe the feeling of losing a game you've played since your like early teens. Like, fuck, man. The fucking just the memories and the friends, like, and now it's all it's finishing. It's, you know. I'll make some cuts in this audio, but man, I don't know how many hours exactly I have. I'm looking at that right now. 7,800. So that is 327 days I have in this game, right? And it's all just it's going. For better or for worse, like, I think it's at the point where everyone can agree, like, it's time. Time to move on, time to go. But still got that feeling, man. It's like in that press release, there was nothing explicitly about Destiny 3. There was no specific mention, hey, we're developing Destiny 3, do not worry, guys. In some ways, I feel like that is a mistake because people might just write this off as, well, the Destiny franchise is done, it's gone. When it most likely is not. We'll probably see it expanded at some point. We just don't know when that will be, right? So words just cannot describe how I am feeling right now. Yeah, I've seen this a lot on Twitter today, where people are legitimately like furious with Bungie, right? With how the game has been treated throughout these, what, close to 9 years since it's been out, and I guess 12 years with the franchise. But Destiny 2, like, whether you like it or not, has been, it probably is the main game, right? More raids, more content, like, just more everything, right? More time to exist versus Destiny 1. But you can't. My thoughts are really jumbled on this because it's just literally off the dome, but you can't get away from the fact that this game was ruined by corporate fucking greed. Like, you know, you take the Red War, then Curse of Osiris, and Warmind. It's like, okay, well, the game launched in a pretty... It was okay, not really, yes, no, whatever. You know, I'm indifferent to this point of the game because to me, Destiny was brand new. There was everything to do in the game. Once you did that, it's like, wow, I have the guns. Like, there's nothing else to do with these. Then you leave the game, go play, go play Prime Overwatch. It's a whole different topic. I'm just looking at my stats now. I played an hour 39 in Curse of Osiris. Like, I think that pretty much sums up Curse. Came back once Forsaken was revealed and played Warmind, and then played the Curse. You know, buying the bundle and whatnot. But Forsaken, that's really, really where it kicked off. Like, D2 Prime. Like, Forsaken was good, but to me, personally, I don't see Forsaken being the prime of Destiny. It was definitely the best in terms of content. the content being made and the amount, the quality, man, the quality. Oh my god. When there was actually people working on the game, it felt like. I guess to me, my prime, maybe definitely not Shadowkeep. Beyond Light. I think Beyond Light really, like, man, Season of the Splicer, you know? If you know, you know, like, I think, yeah, it's just best known as If You Know, You Know. Like, that time was amazing. The amount of shit that you could do in raids where it wasn't like fucking getting patched out the wazoo. Doing Lowmans, doing solos. I remember watching Vote for Shifu, fucking kill Atheon. Like, that was peak Destiny in my opinion. From 21 maybe to Lightfall release. That was the downfall. And then Lightfall, you know, it was supposed to be the, not penultimate, but like, you know, we were supposed to be moving towards something great, right? And you just get Lightfall come out and it's, you play Strand Simulator for fucking however long with like no story. I still remember Bife fucking calling it out. It's like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, we don't... Like, what are we doing? Admittedly, Into the Light is probably one of the best times in Destiny as well. But I still don't think you can top, like, Beyond Light with its... I don't think you can top like Beyond Light, Witch Queen era. For me at least, that was the best time for making friends, memories, just playing the game with some sort of understanding of how like just shit works, right? Anyway, I've been sidetracked to talking about my favorite parts of the game. What I wanted to do with this was to actually get into why Destiny 2 went to shit. It's none of this like woke devs fucking people thinking just because they aren't like a white man that the game went to shit. No, it is not like that. Like, I'm sorry, but you're completely misinformed on the topic. It is corporate greed, like I said before. You know, when you have executives like absolutely milking the fuck out of the players buying a DLC. I don't know the exact price in USD in American dollars, but in New Zealand, to get a year's worth of content, it was about 160 every year. And I think at the time, that is still a lot of money, but you know, even then, at least we were getting a raid every year, sometimes two, mostly two actually, but they were classed as free, whatever. Multiple dungeons a year, and then you get to Edge of Fate, and then you get one raid, and then one dungeon, and then, oh, we're shutting down the game. It's like, okay. But as well as the DLC, like greed, like you cannot justify that much money for a year of content where you have games, when you have games like Fortnite that it is free to play and all the content is fucking free. Okay, it's literally only cosmetics and they still make shit tons of money. Like I'm I'm not a game developer. I'm not fucking a businessman. But at some point when the studio was independent, right? They had their right to their own destiny. At what point is profit enough, right? for these executives, for these shareholders, right? You guys had it good, man. If you guys didn't need to milk the fuck out of the players, you would have had a cash cow for maybe another 5-10 years on this fucking game before people really wanted a Destiny 3. Granted, I wanted a Destiny 3 fucking maybe after Shadowkeep, to be honest. But besides that, I think this video is over the show. This is just my fucking thought dump, right? Destiny 2, it should have ended after the final shape. Like, none of this episode bullshit. No one actually likes that stuff. I'm sorry. If you like that, cool. But come on, man. You clearly miss like the better part of Destiny 2's life. Like episode heresy, people go on about that. That was okay. It was okay. But come on, man. The Destiny 2 should have wrapped up after we killed the Witness. That was it. No more story progression. And then 6 months later, well, no, not 6 months. Maybe a month or so, it comes out like a video or a twab, whatever. After we've killed the Witness, blah, blah, blah. You know, just the future of the franchise. And who was the director at the time? I don't know. Just comes out and says, look, you know, this is it for Destiny 2. We believe the final shape was a good wrapping point, a good send-off for this game that has been with us for, what was it? 7 years at that point in 2024? Yeah. You know, we're going to end it here. We'll start doing this Monument of Triumph now. You know, we could have been 2 years into development of a proper successor to this great game. Man, you know, instead they want to keep milking the game, do these fucking episodes, and then, oh yeah, we'll do these 2 like mid-sized DLCs a year, and people started raving on about that. Oh, we're gonna get so much more. We ended up paying fuckloads more money for way less content. And that has happened every year since Forsaken, and for some reason people never caught on to the trend. Getting absolutely fucked, absolutely milked by Bungie. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Bungie. I love this game. I love the community they built, the people in it, especially. Fuck yes. The memories from the content that they have built. I still remember, like in high school, like 2019. I still remember watching, what was it? Day One Crown, bro. Day One Crown. What was it? Yeah, I remember watching that in class. Probably shouldn't have been doing that, but I remember watching that shit in class. I'm like, wow. This game is fucking cool. Remember getting home, not being good enough to do it, playing with a mate, and we were just like, wow, okay, you know, this is something I really want to get into. Didn't happen in Shadowkeep launch, but, you know, you get around to Beyond Light, and give it a real good crack on a Day One raid, Beyond Light, Deepstone Crypt, and that is probably... It's not the best raid, but it is probably my favorite raid. It is simple, yes. But fuck, man, the memories attached to that. Fighting Atrax for 8 hours, and then you get to that, and then you get into space, and then Deepstone Lullaby, as cringe as that sounds, is when that plays after 8 hours of being stuck in that fucking room, listening to the music, and it's like, oh my god, thank fuck. And I think that's why a lot of people resonate with Deepstone Lullaby, right? I think a lot of us really gave DSC a crack, right? And that's where a lot of I think Deepstone really made it more approachable, I feel like. to getting people into doing day one raids. It was it was definitely my first try. I just realized I've been sidetracked again on memories of this game. Can't help but talk about it. I guess it's been said a million times, but this game could have been something else if capital interest wasn't in the way, bro. Oh my god. I guess getting back to the Beyond Light shit, it's like, shout out Retain. Alright, shout out Retain. Goats. But fuck, man. I miss that era of the game. There wasn't, like, a degree of figuring shit out, I guess. But there was still hope for the game. There was still wonder. That was the time when we got a new subclass. It's like, wow, man. Holy shit, after however long, we're finally getting new powers. And that should have been a trend every DLC since, right? Bare fucking minimum, by the way. I don't care what anyone says. Getting you, like, a new subclass or just new abilities, that is the bare minimum. Witch Queen, yeah, we all heard the rumors that was supposed to launch with the Strand and whatever, and then that came in Lightfall, and then the final shape. Prismatic. Actually, get me started on Prismatic. Prismatic, that was the most lazy shit I've seen in a fucking game. It's cool mixing all your abilities, but it was sold as a new subclass. I'm sorry, that is not a new subclass. I still remember the commentary at the time. It's like, oh my god, new subclass, new sub, and it's literally like arc bolt grenade. Like, shut up. Oh my god, you can use a warlock fucking Strand melee with a with was it Solanade? I don't even fucking remember. But oh my god, you can mix abilities. Cool, man. That should have been, yeah, that should be introduced into the game, but not marketed as a new subclass, bro. The penultimate fucking DLC of the game where we finally fight the Witness, this bad guy that's been fucking hyping up for 10 years, basically, and we have reused abilities. Oh my god. And then you're in like a place where it's all like reused assets and stuff. It's like, oh my god. You're paying the price of a brand new game every year to get like reused assets sold back to you. That was a concept I never understood why people were defending. Like, come on, man. Like, at least COD. Okay. Don't get me started on COD. I haven't played that shit in years, but at least COD, there was somewhat like, there was a degree of refreshing. Destiny, it never felt like that. It never felt like that. Let's start on the content vault. I think that was a defining factor of Destiny's decline. Not demise, but decline. The fact that there were people... I think I was one of them at the time. Maybe, I think I defended Bungie for like a year. That they took it out, and then, we were all under the assumption that they were gonna rejig it or rebuild it, whatever the fuck the language was at the time, to make it usable in like this new updated Beyond Light engine. I was like, okay, cool, sure. I can't wait to play Callus with new lighting. Whatever. And then the fact we just never got that. I'm sure people graduated high school, went to university, graduated that, probably got fucking married, and that shit's still not in the game. Yeah. That's fucked. And some of the best content too, like Red War, that was the pinnacle to... that was the best way to get people to play the fucking game. To boot it up. Like, you went to free to play and you take out some of the best content. Levy, Eater, maybe not Eater, Spire, Crown, Scourge, like Some of the best content to get someone hooked into the game. I'm sure many people got hooked by that shit. And then they took it out, and then there was just literally fucking nothing. Sure, you brought back Vogue and King's Fall and Crota, but it's like, that shit was in Destiny 1, man. Good. I'm glad that it's in the game, but like, you know, we should have the raids that we paid for still in this fucking game. I still remember doing like one of my last Levy runs, and it was like a flawless with Retain Clan. Shout out Retain. And I thought, you know, it won't be that long. Get this back, and hello, 2026. Fucking 23 years old. That shit left the game when I was 17. Like, what's going on there? What haven't we touched? Day ones. Oh my god. It's scary, the fact that we haven't got a D3 announcement, and that fucking Desert Perpetual might be the last contest raid we ever get. Last raid we ever get. Yeah, man. Day one's like, that is where you really find out who your friends are, I think. You know, I already said this twice, but shout out Retain, but also fucking shout out fucking motherfucking Defiant, bro. Holy shit. We don't even really exist anymore, but man, shout out Zenklu, shout out Killerbro913, shout out Terra Commando, and then fucking shout out 9 Days Infinity, bro. Holy fuck. That was the dream team minus that other guy. Man. Crota? I think, oh, here we go. Crota was probably the best contest raid, in my opinion. It was the perfect balance between difficulty. Yeah, it was the perfect balance between easy and like hard, I think. Like, it still took our team because we're like not that good. I don't even know, like, let's pull up raid report. But it wasn't crazy like Salvation's Edge or Desert Perpetual, but it was definitely harder than Root or probably King's Fall. Yeah, I think it was harder than King's Fall. How long did it take us? I don't even know. About 15 hours. You know, obviously we weren't like day one worthy, but like world's first worthy, but shit, we got, I think I just saw it today, it was 85th normal day one, and then challenge, obviously we got fucked on challenge. But yeah, like the Destiny contest raid experience might honestly never be replicated. I think Division tried doing that, and then it just sort of didn't really work or whatever. But there is nothing like that in gaming. Absolutely nothing. We sit there for hours and hours and hours on end in a first person like looter shooter trying to figure out a mechanic where your fucking dumbass teammate can't kill an ogre for 8 hours and then figures out, oh wait, that's how that works? Oh my god. Yeah. Thinking about Destiny now, I wish I played Destiny 1 more. There was nothing, I wasn't really interested in that in the time. I was like a super COD kid. In, what, 2014? I only just got my first Xbox then, like 2014 Christmas, so Destiny 1 had already launched, like it was too late to play that at launch. But I always remember seeing the promo for that game, and I thought it looked really interesting, but There's just never anything I got around to. It's too busy fucking playing Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare or Minecraft or COD BO2 or Ghosts or Advanced Warfare at the time. Fucking I love Advanced. Anyway. Yeah. What was it talking about? Day ones, right. I guess on raids as well, like Lowmans, like trios and duos and stuff like that. Trio flawlesses, those were some really fun. There's a bit of a lore drop. I still remember like looking for groups in Elysium community server and then finding a couple of blokes, and we got through Deepstone and we didn't do Vow, we did Garden as well. And those were some really tough challenges in the game. Albeit for like an arbitrary fucking tile on like a third-party website. But it gave you, I suppose it gave some people self-worth, but it felt like you accomplished something, right? You don't really see that in many other games that, you know, people look at and view as like, oh wow, they did that shit. You know? I still remember doing raids in fucking Desert Perpetual and people just like have a geezy your raid report. Like, oh wow, you got like 3 or 4. I'm like, oh yeah. But granted, I did that 5 years ago when I had no life. Yeah. And I'm sad that Destiny's going, but I'm hopeful for the future that we eventually see a sequel, you know, a third game. You know, we're gonna join the club of Half-Life 3, Titanfall 3, fucking probably something else out there that it's not coming to my mind right now. But, you know, I hope we're not, in 10 years' time, we are still saying, oh, where's Destiny 3? Where's Destiny 3? Where's Destiny 3? I hope it's only, we get it at least before 2030, if it's ever going to be a thing. But it needs to happen, man. There is too much potential in this franchise to be fucking wasted. Squandered when Sony bought Bungie for over $3 billion. Like, hello. They didn't just buy that shit for fucking Marathon, man. They bought that for Destiny. You know, they obviously saw the potential in the franchise. Why are we squandering it? Yeah, I still remember, what was it, Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. They were in the early stages of doing a TV show. What the fuck happened to that? What happened? I'm sure there would be a fan base for that, like at least the Destiny community. If you go on Twitter in the last 24, 48 hours, I don't know when I'll post this. This is the most active I've ever seen the Destiny community. Not even like raid launches or DLC launches like the Final Shape. I saw, you know, 12,000 likes on a fucking tweet about Destiny 2 and Charlie Kirk. Oh, man. It's been depressing. I'm glad. This is very personal, but I'm glad I waited. I graduated high school into 2020, middle of COVID. We didn't get a graduation, blah blah blah. You know, I thought I'd give uni a few years. It ended up, or at least a year. It ended up being 4, whatever. But that was the peak of Destiny, you know. And I'm sort of glad I did that, because now, you know, I started uni in 2025, and this game just went to fucking dog shit. Like, maybe once I'm finished, I'd like to do honors and masters. I'm in my 2nd year now. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe once I've done those, Destiny will be good. We'll see. But fuck, man. I'm really gonna miss this game. I'm really gonna miss the community. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen after that final update comes out. You know, it looks really good. Like, they're dropping all the abilities that it's saved up and all these quality of life changes. But, you know, biggest belief, like, where the fuck was this shit when the game was at its worst? You know? Just keep holding us out. Hold us out, you know? Maybe they made this decision 6 months ago. Maybe they made it last week. We don't know. You know, there has been no communication from Bungie, from the community team, from the dev team, whatever, to us fans. You know, we had Bungie, Destiny 2 as one of the most popular games on Steam, probably on PlayStation and Xbox and wherever else. Fucking even Stadia. Shout out Stadia players when that was a thing. To nothing, you know? Bungie, you know, goes full steam ahead on Marathon, pumps that out the door, and now it has less players than Destiny 2 has currently. Destiny 2 came out in 2017 and hasn't had an update in 5 months. You know? I saw a number where they'd spent over $200 million on Marathon, and it can't even put up 10,000 on Steam. You know, imagine what that's like on PlayStation or Xbox. PlayStation definitely has more, but Xbox might be a few thousand. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, Marathon's a different video. Nah, Marathon is this video because Marathon is one of the reasons why Destiny 2 went down the toilet. You know, why the fuck? I can understand diversification, cool. You know, you need to branch out at some point, but why the fuck are we neglecting the cash cow? You know, surely someone in corporate was like, yo, what the fuck are we doing, bro? This game makes us all of our money. Why are we not, like, putting devs on the fucking game to, like, keep it producing money for us? It's what pays the bills. It's like, nah. Marathon's gonna be super cool. It's in a niche genre with a very niche art style. Granted, the art style's really fucking cool, but it's stolen, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's gonna be super big. It's gonna be next Fortnite or some shit. I don't know. And then it comes out, and it's... I played, like, the test or the open beta, whatever the fuck. 2 matches was enough for me. I've tried extractions. I just cannot get behind them. The gunplay felt nice, but it's an extraction at the end of the day. For Marathon to succeed, it should have just been some sort of standard multiplayer with some sort of story aspect campaign. You know, I'm sure the Destiny PvP players would have migrated to that game in droves if it was like a 6v6 or a 5v5 type of game. Like COD, like Counter-Strike in player numbers terms, obviously not mechanics. But just like Destiny, right? Those players have been begging for something new. You know, they love the feel of Bungie games, and then that community just gets constantly neglected. You know, whether people like it or not, they're a part of the community too, right? They play it when there's no content, and that's all the time, you know? But yeah, Marathon. Getting back to Marathon. It blows my mind that we just stopped working on this fucking game, Destiny 2 Marathon. Someone in one of those meetings must have said, hey, extractions aren't actually like the most very popular genre. We should have definitely a team working on this, but not the whole of Bungie, right? Because they can say it wasn't the whole of Bungie, but it definitely felt like it. You know, how do you go 5 months without an update? Where you have, like, one of the worst expansions to come out, Edge of Fate, where you play as, like, a ball half the fucking time. Where most of your, like, NPCs you introduce don't even fucking talk to you. They're all, chat bots. And then you have renegades, like... Dungeon was fun. Renegades was fun. But, like, it's Destiny. It was more Destiny. Like, it didn't expand the scope of the game. Well, it was probably never designed to do that. But at that point in time, it needed to really shake things up to move away from the fucking portal. Get to that later. But it really needed to expand the feeling of the game, and it never did that. Sure, you can swing around a lightsaber and, oh, it's Star Wars theme, but it's like, as a Star Wars fan, was this really necessary? Bungie's, they sort of marketed it as like a faithful expansion to Destiny, with its own unique story, whatever. Was it really? Was it really? You had like a Kylo Ren archetype fucking villain, basically to a T. I don't even remember his name because it's not memorable at all. Star Wars fan, by the way. It's literally in my name. It was that DLC, cool collaboration, sure, whatever. It was just for money. Just for money. Like every expansion, but that, more importantly, was just money, right? Yeah. Looking at my hours for Renegades, I have 3 days and 19 hours played. Some of the least I've played. Revenant was probably it's in the deep as well. Anyway. Portal. Yes, the Portal. We haven't even fucking talked about that piece of shit. Destiny has been around, or Destiny 2, I can't really speak. Destiny 2, for as long as it has existed, we have used the directory. At that point in the game, why are we still trying to bring in new players when you've failed countless times and you've removed the content that brought people in? And then at that point as well, you weren't even looking at making a fucking Destiny 3. Why are we trying to push new players, current players away with a new system? All the shit attached to the portal was literally just bounties, and I still think the old bounty system was better. At least you had endless options for Bright Dust instead it was capped. And then everything being associated with the portal, it really stripped the game of its identity. The directory was so iconic. And the fact you go to like some fucking generic screen with a fucking what am I trying to say? A screen with some fucking cover art, and then you gotta pick like what modifiers and stuff. That's cool, I guess. But that should have just been in Nightfalls or something, right? I don't think anyone was actually like disliked Grandmaster Nightfalls. Like, yes, they got really fucking easy towards the end of their life, but they were still pretty quite fun. You got to try out different builds and stuff, and what worked and what was classified at the time as in-game content. That was sort of the pinnacle, not pinnacle, but one of the best ways to earn loot. I still remember doing farming weekends on, what is it, Warden of Nothing? For a sniper and splicer. I forgot the name of it. I farmed that thing all that whole weekend, that whole week, the whole fucking week. For a sniper, that was pure copium. That was only thing I ever fucking used properly. Let me pull that sniper up. Bring back some memories real quick. Fucking is what the fuck is Dude, I'm dyslexic as fuck. Izumi RR4 Adept. There you go. That thing was pure copium. But I had fun. You know, at the end of the day, you got to play the game for fun. And towards Destiny 2's life, it just it wasn't fun. You know, sure, you got 7,800 hours, nearly 8,000 hours. Saw some screenshot today where someone had 15,000. I'm not gonna lie, that's low-key mental illness, but 7K is still probably mental illness too. But I don't even think it's the amount of hours that a lot of people had. It's genuinely like there was nothing being added to the game worthy of our time as players. You know, what did Renegades even add? Trying to think of anything interesting besides the fucking dungeon. Nothing. After all this time, like, why wasn't dungeons and raids made like an actual priority? That was the best content in the game. We got like 1, maybe 2 experience of that every year. You know, why weren't we making more of that? That was when the game got the most attention, the most hype. When it was the most fun, the most interesting. And it just, we got 1 a year, and then it might have been shit. Fucking Rude Nightmares. You know? Yeah. I really miss the days where you get a brand new raid, and then 6 months later, a reprise raid. And then for some reason, we just never got Wrath. I really wanted to play that. I could go play it, but I don't have the will to play Destiny. I just don't think I would be able to appreciate it because I never played it when it came out. Anything else I want to talk about? I don't think there's much else I want to talk about, but I'm gonna leave it off on a bit of a note. I don't know what I'm trying to say. This game has been everything to me for the past 9 years. It has been my main game. I'm sure a lot of other people's main games. I've made the most memories playing games, the most friends, probably lifelong friends, honestly. Hopefully. We'll see. But some genuine fucking people, man, I've met through this game. Some of the nicest people, most caring people. It's allowed me. You know, I've met Nolan North, the ghost. What, last year? That was really cool. I really wish I met Lance Reddick. Rest in power. But I'm really gonna miss this game. I might still hop on every now and then for a raid. People are around, but you know, this was a part of my life. When I read that news this morning, Barris Singh got up like at 6:30 in the morning, reading that shit. Like, Hardy almost died, right? Shed a tear, you know. I'm sure a lot of other people did. I saw Datto for that shit. I don't blame him, because it's been such a core part of our lives. Thank you, Bungie. Thank you, Destiny.